Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Good? We're good? Testing, hello? Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, 1 coup. Testing, testing, 1 coup. Testing, 1 coup. Round 3 of the NPLW Victoria competition sees us at the home of the last weekend's Formula 1 Grand Prix, but the main feature this weekend, as opposed to F1 cars around Lakeside Stadium, is the action on this very pitch at Lakeside. South Melbourne taking on Alamein FC, and South look to go and get their second consecutive win of the season. As for Alamein, a very tough task to come to Lakeside. Can they shock George Georgiadis' men on a fantastic, crisp and cloudless Saturday afternoon? I am Neil Simons. I'm joined by Katie Lambeski on commentary this afternoon. You couldn't have asked for better weather in the late March days. I think it's just absolutely outstanding, and we've got two very good footballing sides as well to have a look at.
Absolutely, as the kids might say for it, Neil, day for it. Good to be with you this afternoon, and of course a happy Easter to everyone who observes and who celebrates this weekend. And we couldn't ask for much more. Football does not stop, as we know, in this state, which is fantastic, and we're glad to be bringing it to you live here on YouTube. Look, early season stakes involved in this one. I think South Melbourne had that disruption, of course, last week, missing their clash with Preston at BT Connor due to some pitch maintenance works. I wonder, can that slow you down a little bit? Can it make you harder to generate early season momentum? Of course, they came off a 4-1 win early on in round 1, of course. Alamein still looking for their first win, 2 played. They've gone down last week to the OG Burundara team in women's football, and it was a hard-fought win. It was a hard-fought loss, and they made Burundara work for long parts of that game, I thought. So they're putting stuff together. They're putting it going bit by bit. I think they've got their work cut out for them today, though, but looking forward to see how it plays out. Absolutely,
and Katie, feel free to take us through the lineups. A big loss for South Melbourne in McAuliffe, but very strong 11 for them.
Absolutely, as you might expect for the reigning defending champions, of course. We will start with the home side. In goal will be Emma Olsen lining up. Number 2, Asia Claridge. Number 5, Sophie Papatsanis. Number 7, Franny Yamano, the skipper, of course, leading the team. Number 8, Isabella Seawards. Number 9, Taylor Christensen. Number 10, Georgia Candilas. Number 14, the midfield maestro, the leader, Misha Westland. Number 17, Dragana Klajic. Number 21, Grace Taranto. And 43, Jessica Sheehan, rounding out the starting lineup for South. For Alamein, for the visitors, in goal will be, of course, number 1, Taylor Murphy. Number 2, Ondine Gimara. Number 3, Molly Burke. Number 4, the leader, Sydney Allen. Number 5, Catherine Renahan. Number 10, Ruby Walsh. Number 15, Kristen Malloy. Number 16, Ashley Lefrevre. Number 17, Emily Harbus. Number 23, Rebecca Saber. And number 31, Eden McEwen, as kickoff is set here at Lakeside.
South in their trademark blue strip from right to left. Women's football at Lakeside Stadium. Name a better duo as we have kickoff on Easter Saturday. Claridge. Of course, a South youth product. The benchmark in women's football development in Victoria, aside from the NTC program, you'd have to say South Melbourne. Looping ball over the top to that right-hand side. Seward's looking to get a touch to it, but it's well claimed by Alamein. They'll look left. It's one back by South in midfield now. Westland once more. One of several South players with A-League women's experience with Adelaide United and Melbourne City. Alamein looking to beat through the press, enforced by South Melbourne, and they've done pretty well. They look towards that left-hand channel. The ball just bouncing high and long. Westland manages to get her ball to feet. As they look to play out from that right-hand channel yet again. Thrown one by Alamein. I will say, it's very hard to read the numbers at the back of the shirt for Alamein. The gold certainly providing a very sharp contrast to the red, but they've done really well in these opening few stages, really breaking down that South Melbourne press.
They have. They've gone they've gone aggressive. I think they've looked to not allow South to try and dictate terms. Misha Weston, of course, a few times they're dropping in between the defenders and trying to generate play. Yamano here looking to link up, but too much on the pass, of course, was aiming for Taylor Christensen. Of course, Georgia Candilas, as well as Franny Yamano, linking up this afternoon as well on the wings. So looks to be a 4-3-3 formation. But I found it became almost like a back three when Misha Weston drops in between the centre backs to allow the wing backs to bomb forward a little bit further ahead. Jessica Sheehan being one of them here on the broadcast side. I think the key today for Alamein is try to outnumber, try to press South and try to generate those mistakes. And they're looking for, of course, their first goal this season as well. They're yet to register on the score sheet. Safety first there by the South defence. Alamein just chipping away here. And Westland again proving, I think, crucial in these exchanges so far. Winning the ball, following up her own ball. Clyde through the middle, also linking up. Candilas there, but couldn't quite get further. Quite fluid in the way that they're setting up here. Then far from predictable here, South just using those angles. Just patiently going back wherever the pass is not quite on. Going to have to be disciplined today, Alamein as well. As aggressive as they can be in terms of their press, they need to make sure that space is not there for the likes of Franny Amano to exploit here. Good patient build up here.
Claridge looking to central it into midfield for South, but Alamein holding very firm. Look upfield now. Good first touch it was by Rebecca Saber, and she's awarded the foul. I suspect Alamein will have to counter this afternoon, and might be a very tough task in composition. Renahan to swing this in. Players lining up on the edge of the 18-yard area. It's delivered towards the back post. Alamein still keep it in play. And an excellent breakaway from South Melbourne in midfield. As Alamein recompose themselves now in the centre circle, arriving was a set-piece deliverer. And Renahan looking to find options on that left-hand side. Pass slightly overhit. Out of play for a throw-in. Nice little contingent of South Melbourne and travelling Alamein supporters. Of course, not exactly the furthest trip down south. Alamein in midfield. Looking to buy time. Get down his right-hand side. Unfortunately, stepping out of play for Alamein. Sheena now the throw-in. Back to goal was Taylor Christensen. Again, Alamein holding really, really firm. Molloy, of course, arriving from Melbourne University. Big step up for her, and she's done pretty well in these opening few minutes. South enforcing their press yet again. Goalkeeper unfazed. And now Westland looking to break through. Approaching the penalty area. Very tame shot on goal, and it will be too easy for Alamein to recoup. And this is what they'll do. They'll like to slow down the tempo. Liam Kafka-Sweeney, of course, only his third game in charge in the NPLW competition. And it's a mountainous task in the form of South Melbourne, and they've approached this game in a very unique fashion, it seems. They want to dictate the play on their own terms. Ball up the line down that left-hand channel. Excellent back-to-goal work from Taylor Christensen. Looking to flick a ball across towards that right-hand side. And Westland is there and gets a strike on goal. In fact, it was actually Georgia Candelas on that right channel. South still keeping it alive now. Christensen, beautiful interplay. Looking to link up with Sophie Papatsanis, but a very unique shot on goal from Georgia Candelas. Didn't think that she did exactly get it off, but she did in the end.
That's it. She did. Made a good fist of it, made a good attempt of it from what she was able to generate for the ball that she latched onto. South just look more sharp in ball movement. They look a bit more crisper in ball movement, and Alamein are hanging in there so far. They're matching that up so far, but again, that dam wall might break for Alamein if they're not careful. South just looking sharp here. Again, just utilising the bulk of the possession. They're just not allowing themselves to be bogged down. They know that Alamein have looked to press them, so they're going to try and move that ball just that little bit quicker. They combine here again, a good passing move, building. Candelas' game, she's been all action early on, been prominent in a lot of South's attacking moves. Of course, missing Danielle Wise this afternoon, the reigning champion, so that's a blow to anyone's team, you'd have to say, to lose that level of player, but they're going to look to the next player up sort of mentality. They have leaders in this team, no doubt. Of course, last time these two teams met, an absolute classic in round 18 last year in 2023 at Jarty Labour Reserve. A 3-3 draw playing out between these two sides. Of course, a couple of goal scorers from that game out there today. Sydney Allen scoring a brace in that game, and Taylor Christensen getting on the board last time out for these two sides. So they'll look for similar outcomes, both of these teams, these clubs. Christensen hot on the press there, that was the trigger. Knew that the ball came back and they knew exactly where to be, and she switched right onto that. An awkward, tricky customer to face, no doubt. Good response here by Alamein. Harbus on the wing here. Sheehan for company. She does want to cut back, but can't quite find a teammate on the back end there. And South will look to counter, but can't quite find Candelas on the other side. No, Yamano on the other side, excuse me. Going box to box so far in this game now, in these last few moments especially. Alamein just springing into action on that press. Good to see.
Absolutely, and they do have players to really break the lines. Sydney Allen, of course, is the more obvious one at the heart of midfield. A real custodian of this football club is Sydney Allen. Allen receives in board yet again, looks to find one from range. Drifting past Emma Olsen, of course, one of the very few players that have played with both clubs on the pitch today, formerly of Alamein Bulleen, and also the NTC program at Football Victoria. FV Emerging, as they're currently known. Of course, they do play out of the wonderful new home of the Matildas facility, in which several other top-flight NPLW sides ply their trade as well. Olsen now tasked with the goal kick. Now it's Sheenan. Looks upfield. Good first touch by Christensen. Iamano looks back. Sheenan yet again. Sheenan will bide her time yet again. Christensen. Space opening up in the middle. driving in deep, looking for the slip pass towards Franny Iamano, doing her defensive duties as well. Taylor Christensen, of course, has caps for the New Zealand's youth sides. Move in transition for Alamein now. Now Sabre. It's got space towards her left-hand side, but it's well cut out by South. They look to break now on this right-hand side, awaiting Isabella Sewards. And now Candila's back to goal. Alamein, a bit of momentum going forward. Sewards. Won again in midfield by Sydney Allen. To build from the back now. Moving ball out towards that right-hand side. Space opening up, but slightly overhit. Didn't quite arrive for Emily Harbus. And Sheenan will look to return favour through the throw-in. Up the line she goes. Christensen the target. Looking to beat past her player, but she stepped out of bounds. That was excellent work by NPLWVIC. Of course, has had A-League women's experience, but not in official form. She does train with the Melbourne Victory in the past. Actually made the move up to RPL Leichhardt several seasons ago. A road that not many players go down in women's football, Victoria to New South Wales.
Very true, very true. Must be said here, Alamein doing really well at disrupting South's ball movement throughout these last few passages of play. Now they're really getting forward on their own terms now here in Sydney Allen. Really doing well there to find a teammate holding up the ball and finding her in space. But South just double back and find the numbers. Really good setup, I think, from Alamein, just cutting out whatever counter South looked to manufacture there. Well, Sydney Allen, distinctive, I think, with the ribbons in her hair. I think the Hayley Razzell effect must be the case. And there she is again. Took to get on the run there, but she's met with resistance from Grace Taranto in defence. Alamein just looking to generate some forward momentum there and just couldn't quite do so there. Done well to disrupt South Melbourne. They need to find a way to break through on goal. Just that final pass, I think, is just missing for them at the moment. They've got the ball into some good spaces early on, particularly across the wings. Candilas now looking to lead the team forward. Yamano cutting into more of a central position while Christensen drift wide there. Quick counter now. Sydney Allen on the ball. Looking to break through to a teammate but can't quite find. And now South look for another takeaway here. End-to-end sort of stuff. Misha Weston looking to get her team up the field. But Alamein just block that and earn a free kick, earn a throw-in as a result, excuse me. What they need here just as well on their end, just a decent spell of possession. Go straight up the middle there. I like it. Risky, but it's an opportunity to generate some momentum. Again, too quick on the pass. Looking for something that wasn't quite there. But it'll be South's chance to regroup nevertheless. And Claridge to try and play the ball out. Christensen dropping ever more deeper here. She has players ahead of her. It's a decent ball over the top. It does find Klajic making the run from midfield, but it's a little bit too early there. And Leisman pulls the flag right back. Good organisation, good shape defensively though from Alamein to to sprint to create that offside trap. Couldn't quite spring it there, South, but Alamein to take away now.
That's great myself. Thought it was actually number 11, not 31. McEwen, of course, the state futsal champion, of course, twice, of course. Mistake mistook me, which happens on the odd occasion now. Sheena looking down the line, but well composed by Alamein to break out again. Burke looking upfield. Allen back to goal. It's great interplay, but unfortunately unable to find Emily Harbis. I must highlight Molly Burke as a very intriguing prospect, of course, formerly of the Casey Comets, having represented Victorian at the state level as well. Sheenan. Foul perhaps, and that has been called against Emily Harbis. Sheenan, bit of a baptism of fire for her this season, has slotted into this left back role and has performed eloquently well in what we've seen of her in the past. Now Claridge, only 2 NPL appearances prior to the start of this season, but has been trusted by George Georgiadis to slot into the 11. Yamano dropping very deep, getting past halfway, but can't break through the Alamein defence. Walsh receiving inboard. Looking right. Let's find the option. Kyun. And Christensen will receive on this near side yet again. We've got a good defensive challenge from Alamein yet again. We'll see Christensen look to throw it in now. Very tall for a winger in NPLW terms. You would say she's almost a like for Danielle Wise up top, but on the wing she goes and has caused plenty of trouble thus far, dropping in deep in several positions as well. McKeown yet again. One back by South now this time. Claridge yet again. Olsen. Looking down that right-hand channel yet again. Alamein now pressing upfield. Back to Claridge. She's got space opening up on the left. Sheenan is overlapping. Not quite the intended target. Alamein will break away now yet again. High looping ball is well dealt with by South's defence once more. A crossfield ball searching for Franny Iamano. Walsh is there. Bit of tussle in midfield. South to win out. Iamano goes to ground, and she was deemed to be in the way of the Alamein midfielder. And it'll be a free kick for the away side in the centre circle. Another integral set-piece opportunity for them. Whipping ball towards that left-hand side. Headed back in field. Westland with the faint touch. Now Christensen. South can attack in strides now. Candelas. Forced to go back. Now Claridge. Centre circle now. There's Misha Westland. Looks centrally towards Taylor Christensen. Again, well dealt with by Alamein's defence. Kewen yet again. Harbis. Space in the middle for Sydney Allen to reach out potentially. It's back with Allen. Looking right. Get the strike away. She can! And Alamein with a shock lead over South Melbourne. Rebecca Saber with the opener, and South's defence can't quite believe it. And who else but Sydney Allen to be the impetus for South Melbourne to come back perhaps. And Rebecca Saber with an eloquent finish into the bottom right corner. Katie, what do you think of this?
That's exactly what Alamein needed to get out of that passage of play. Just they were knocking, they were increasingly growing into this game, had a bit more confidence. I wanted to see them commit a few more numbers forward to close that gap a little bit more between defence and midfield. But South will reconvene here. They've been called into a quick huddle, and now they'll look to regroup from that. Maybe that was the counter punch that they needed. Maybe that was the wake-up call that they needed. But Alamein, great reward, and Sabre did the rest of that finish, didn't she? Fantastic. Sydney Allen laying off the pass, and she did the rest. That's exactly what she needed to do. Just read that superbly, and the finish was just as good as well. So great spell of football from Alamein. It caps off in exactly the right way. Now the challenge is right back with South. They might double up here. Sabre again. Olsen called into action. Looked to follow up there, but it bobs across. Olsen just looking to calm her troops down there with the call. She came high off her line. She read that well. Otherwise, they could have ended up in a 2-0 deficit early on in this game. All happening here at Lakeside. And they can't quite look for passes that aren't quite there here, South. That's not... They need to be methodical. They can't be banging their head up against the wall and look for opportunities that aren't quite there. They might have to be patient here. Again, if they play through the midfield, I think they'll have the numbers available to them and they'll be able to draw Alamein out of that defensive shape. They need some more runners here. We've seen Claich run off the ball forward. We've also seen that from Seawards. They've looked to break through from midfield and break through into those attacking places. We've seen Christensen pull up, so I like their movement. I like their movement off the ball so far. But they need to be patient at times. They looked for passes a bit too quickly, but they need to link up a bit more in midfield. I want to see them go through the middle a little bit more and just try to draw Alamein out that way.
I think that's a very apt and justified explanation for what South probably should do. And you can see, of course, Sabre and Allen causing plenty of troubles in the attacking third for South Melbourne. And Sabre is a real goal-scoring machine in her own right, I guess, in the lower leagues. Of course, in State League 1, she scored over 30 goals in 2022 with Ringwood City, and is really proving her worth at the top level as well. And what a way to do it against South Melbourne on a very big stage here at Lakeside Stadium. Christensen looking to track back, but Alamein again on this left-hand channel. Can they wreak havoc? Seawards providing some competition, but Alamein are dictating the game on their own terms now, as what was the intention in the opening few minutes. They've put it into action now. Life just sucked out of South Melbourne's midfield. Really struggling to get on the ball here. Iamano is there on that right-hand side. Not the intended target, however. Claich, this is brilliant interplay. And might yet fall for Alamein on the left-hand channel. Bit of a piece of one-touch football from Alamein's midfield. Claridge. Has to retrieve a bit further than what she would have liked, but Sheenan will look to play it inboard yet again. Claich has extensive experience in South Australia, of course, with the likes of Salisbury Inter and West Adelaide as well. Part of their championship winning exploits. Westland will win the throw-in. Clyde is such a dynamic player to have. Her too also having a stint with Adelaide United's women's side. Of course, they didn't have the best best of nights last night, losing 8-0 to the Jets at home. With the former South Melbourne striker Melina Ayres getting on the score sheet. We sure did miss her in this competition. Iamano now back to goal. Just on that right-hand touchline. And again, Alamein making South work in every sense of the word. Seawards looking to break clear, but she can't. Of course, Isabella Seward's a very interesting one. Very young player in composition, of course, arrived from Calder United. Was at that FV emerging side that performed so well a few seasons ago. Has also dabbled in a bit of journalism as well in her time.
Interesting. It's always good to see players venturing, outside of the football space every now and then, and just, getting into that space, definitely. Might take a quick moment to bring you around the grounds. Calder United and Brunswick Juventus all square at 1-1 just after the break. The second half resuming, of course, so keep a close eye on that one as we go this afternoon. South just looking to break into a bit more of a pattern here. Pass doesn't quite come off from the middle there. Asia Claridge darting herself into midfield and trying to link up. I like the intent though. Good intent, positive intent, stepping into midfield, just trying to put it right back on Alamein. Claridge as well. The way that they rotate, the fluidity of movement, I think, in the rotation of players through certain positions has been quite interesting to watch here from South. And just not afraid to rotate, not afraid to shift. Christensen stepping more and more into midfield. And South just that U-shaped possession across the back four. Not much happening there though. They need someone to step in midfield into that space in midfield. Might have it forming here. Moving up the field together here, which is a positive for them. Sheehan. Good setup here though by Alamein and Duchess, forcing South back into their back four. Westland coming across into that back three. We did see Franny Yamano try to get involved through the middle too, so I wonder if we'll see something similar. Continuing to probe and prod, but Alamein not relenting here. Coming off for South there. Kind of summing up their last few moments. Alamein growing in confidence since that goal especially. Opportunity to press there from Harvest, who doesn't quite take it, but they'll find another option here. Well done, well organised, well set. Alamein. And it's showing now. Gonna go long with the throw here. Pass aimed for Sydney Allen, but South have the numbers to cover. They got numbers breaking forward on the wing here. What can they find? No, but the force back is forced back. Taranto now, Sheehan on the overlap. And the numbers just gather back here for Alamein, but South look to rebound and they find their way back. Some space opening up in midfield now. Claridge aiming for Seawards. And this is interesting. This will be a free kick in a dangerous position. This is exactly what South need. Big moment in this game potentially brewing.
Interesting to note that fantastic midfield run from Grace Taranto. She's actually listed as 21 on the team sheet. But number 22 for Grace Taranto this afternoon. Did stump me. I looked and I was like, this is interesting. But nonetheless, of course, has provided a solid few minutes in midfield recently, but can she return provider from this set piece? See Misha Westland standing over this one alongside Taylor Christensen and also Isabella Stewards. Will she try her luck from range, perhaps? We'll see. Westland. Routine could be executed to full effect, but Taylor Christensen can't find the finishing touch. Well executed by Misha Westland and Taylor Christensen. Christensen, of course, has opened her account for this season as well against Bentley. And she's on form. She's one of the more unstoppable players in this competition, Taylor Christensen, but Alamein have done very well to nullify her effect and influence over this fixture so far. Iamano tracking back. Does find Claridge. Looks left, Sheenan. Breaking into midfield now. Held firm by Alamein yet again. Deft touched. Slightly away from her body. And now back to goal is Sabre. Looking to muscle her way through. Ooh, that's a bit of an arm in the face of Azia Claridge from Rebecca Sabre. And the foul has been given to South to contend with, but I think the initial contact from Claridge warranted that to be an Alamein free kick. Not something of intent from the goal scorer. But it'll be Renehan to swing this in on the obtuse angle. Towards the centre it goes. Might have bob up at the back post. It can't. Now Iamano tracking back all the way and has to get that out of play for a throw-in. Entering the 35th minute now in just a few moments. Alamein with a fairly big stronghold over this fixture at the moment. Never really looked like they've been in trouble in any way, shape or form. But their grip is beginning to loosen just that little bit as South gain more confidence. Might that be so with Christensen bearing down on goal? One player to beat. Taylor Christensen all alone, just about. Beats away, gets a shot on goal, but it's high over the top. And that's a fantastic defensive awareness from Catherine Renehan following the set-piece delivery. Does her defensive duties. Simply a player that can do it all.
Absolutely, absolutely. She can, Catherine Renehan. Kristen Malloy there, unlucky. Looked to try and clear her pass that was cut off and tried to header it away, but she only glanced in the direction of Christensen, who followed up with a shot over the bar, but a let off for Alamein. Luck you may say, but I don't think so. Ultimately, I think that you make your own luck in this game, and Alamein have done that. They've come prepared this afternoon. He's been quite sharp today, Kristen Malloy, otherwise. Sydney Allen combining, looking for that ball in midfield. In that contest, she looked a little bit worse for wear after that, but fearless captain still standing up for her side. Sheehan. And more often than not, that Sheehan and Claridge combination down our broadcast wing has been quite a keen pass combination, for South this afternoon. Taranto again anchoring the defence for South Melbourne. She strode in through midfield a few times and she's tried to generate some attacking momentum for her side, but it hasn't quite come off this afternoon for South. Big gap in midfield now through Westland. She needs runners, she needs people to feed off, and Alamein have the numbers. They can't quite make use of it there, and now Westland with some space. Looking for Iamano on that side. Doesn't quite come off. Candelas and Iamano looking to combine, but just not working out for South this afternoon. They just can't quite break down that wall. 35 minutes played. Now Alamein into some space now. Harbus knocked it down. Couldn't quite break away clear there, but they'll win the throw in nevertheless. South doubling back defensively now, gives them time to reset. McEwen. It's done well this afternoon as well. It's a good run forming here. Catherine Renahan charging through the middle. Needs players to get on her wavelength there. Needs to find some teammates and trying to find that final pass. Step up to take the throw in now. And just bogged down a little bit across the broadcast wing here. South just absorbing so far. Quick up around the grounds update. It is Calder United reclaiming the lead 2-1 over Brunswick Juventus just before the 80th minute mark. They'll cross over to FB Emerging and Bentley Greens, and it's the Emerging side 2-1 up as well. 80 minutes played there too. Some close fought, hard fought NPL women's action here in Victoria this afternoon. South just bogged down a little bit here now. They're struggling to find a way through this resolute Alamein lineup. Molly Burke pulling back across there, helping out Eden McEwen on this broadcast wing. But it'll be South rewarded with the throw-in after that tangle. Yamano trying to get involved here. Christensen. And that about sums it up. Just to, again, looking for gaps that aren't quite there. Just can't quite find a way. It'll be Alamein to take.
It's given off the vibes of a very scrappy contest, especially in these latter 5 to 10 minutes. Last little 1-2 touches from South aren't really arriving, and that's been the killer for them this afternoon. And Taranto gets it clear. A very well accomplished player is Grace Taranto, of course. The last 2 years or so has spent time at the likes of Adelaide United and Canberra United. Didn't receive meaningful minutes, but nonetheless that experience is more than invaluable. The cross towards a back post from Alamein, and good delivery from Harbus. Falls on the edge of the area. Could it be yet again Rebecca Saber? But she was in an offside position anyway, so that wouldn't have counted. But the fox in the box mentality from Alamein's talisman is causing all troubles for South's defence. And I guess the lack of height for Claridge has really played into the favour of Rebecca Saber. Now Jess Sheenan will look down the touch line. And she'll have a second go at it. Sheenan yet again. Nice little one touch to Iamano. But Allen is there to recruit possession. Saber again looking to receive in board. There's one on the right hand touch line by Emily Harbus. Renahan. Malloy. Alamein with a very good spell of possession here, knocking the ball around in midfield. Client looking to press yet again. Alamein will get the throw in on that far touchline. Of course, plenty of action this afternoon in the NPLW competition. Of course, FV Emerging and Bentley locking horns, Calder and Brunswick Juventus, but plenty of action across the weekend in all the various Football Victoria competitions. Doherty Cup is back underway too. Misha Westland winning back in midfield for South. Now Iamano, brilliant ball down to the right hand side. It's Candelas. Into the box is Christensen. Cheslett slightly away from her body, and that was the killer for her. Wasn't able to generate an effective shot on target. Almost kept in play by Emily Harbus. But Georgia Candelas with an excellent delivery into the box for Christensen. Hasn't really found her shooting boots this afternoon so far, however. Sewards beaten by Harbus in that instance. And McEwen. Sabre. That's a beautiful touch. Now Burke attempting to put that through down that right-hand channel. Allen. Backwards header. Taranto. Christensen. She's got plenty of options to her right and to her left. Looks in midfield for Misha Westland. Claridge upfield now. Taranto. Ball to the right-hand side. All dealt with by Alamein. Back to goal as Candelas has really matured into one of the better players in this competition over recent seasons. Spending a time at South Melbourne as a junior and has built herself into this environment over the years. Good cut away from Harbus. Sabre. Looking to put it through towards Sydney Allen. Who receives again on the edge of the area. Looking to break through, but well composed by South to win it back. Olsen. Taranto. One-touch football from South Melbourne. The triangle was executed, but not exactly to perfection. McEwen. Turning away from Christensen, and South will knock it around in their defensive third again. One back by South, and Taranto, the central defender, ordering down the pitch. And there'll be 2 minutes of added time. Excellent work from Alamein to beat past Grace Taranto.
Spot on there, Neil. 2 minutes here. What can South find as we approach the halftime whistle? But it's an Alamein side who's looking quite confident, is looking increasingly assured here, giving not much away and just forcing South back, forcing to go wide here. Sheehan looking to find Christensen. She does well to recover. Some options opening up now. Seawers running through the middle. Yamano as well. Dragan Aklajic through the middle. Again, forced back, forced to recycle possession back and lose that bit of territory. If you're joining us just now, it is the away side who lead, courtesy of a Rebecca Sabres strike in the 22nd minute of this game. We've had the better of the two, you'd have to say from there. Just don't want to be forced into a mistake here. Alamein, as we draw near to the halftime whistle. Well cut out and well read. there from the South defence. Still plenty of football to be played in this game. The South will be needing to reassess when they hit the halftime team talks. That is for sure. George Georgiadis will have to reset here. Christensen looking to break through, looking to lead the way there, but can't quite break through there in that time, and that'll be half-time. Neil 1-0 to Alamein as we enter the half-time break. As I mentioned, Rebecca Saber, her goal providing the buffer between these two so far. An entertaining contest, scrappy at times, with both sides showing a lot of positive attacking intent throughout, and opportunities throughout this half as well. So all to come, all to play for. Neil, in the second half, what were your thoughts on that half?
For the lack of resources that Alamein do have in terms of technical acumen, they make up for it in intensity and also in defensive shape. They perform eloquently well in the time that they've had so far whilst on the ball, and it's a very much tactical intent that's kept them in this game and has gotten them the all-important opener. We'll be back with you in the next 15 minutes or so for half-time. And stay across the NPL Victoria socials for all the action, all the goals. Welcome back to round 3 NPL women's action. South Melbourne up against Alamein. A fantastic finish in the first half from Rebecca Saber is what separates the teams at half time. South, of course, with several injuries as well, it has to be said. Danielle Wise is returning alongside Grace Rapp, who's on the bench. Can perhaps provide some firepower. Can Grace Rapp. But as for Alamein, they've composed themselves extremely well in that first half. And I'm sure they'll be odds-on favourites to retain their lead if they can retain that defensive shape.
Absolutely, Neil. So ultimately, I think South had their chances. South had some moments in the first half that should have allowed for them to maybe at least pull one back, but especially early on. But again, the quality of chances has not been quite there. They've been knocking, they've been presenting, but they haven't quite broken down that Alamein resistance yet, that defensive shape that they've settled quite well into. And it doesn't look to be halftime changes as yet. We'll keep an eye on that. I think both sides returning as they started. So we'll see how that transpires. All to play for, of course, in this second half. Resetting here, well, that's why we should refer to, of course, a game that has just kicked off this afternoon as well. Bulleen Lions and Burundara, Kerry Eagles, some OG women's football sides in Victoria. Burundara taking an early lead, 5 minutes played there, and it's Bulleen 1-0, excuse me. Angelique Katsais, of course, our referee in charge of this affair this afternoon, looking to get us back underway for the second half. We'll see how Alamein can look. We'll look to see how Alamein look to retain their lead here.
No changes from either side at the halftime break, it seems. As we're back underway now. We'll see Grace Taranto has adopted for the Hayley Razzo approach, has turned her jersey into a singlet. It's not that hot today, but if that makes her more comfortable, then so be it, as she gives away the foul. The Hayley Razzo approach at the 2020 Olympics. Sydney Allen will stand over this one. We'll look to shape one into the box. Of course, was involved in the opening goal this afternoon. Fairly low delivery, will fall back to Allen. Good first touch. Now Lefebvre racing down that left channel. And a brilliant piece of skill, but Candelas was there for the interception. Falls nicely now for Burke. Lefebvre. Burke looking across field, back into the centre circle. Poor execution. Sewards. Christensen back to goal. Options to her left. The overlap does arrive eventually. It's well dealt with by Alamein. But racing forward is Sheenan. Falls into the box. Sewards deliver, beats past the keeper. But great defensive awareness from Alamein to nullify the opportunity. And that has put South Melbourne's crowd into voice. A throw in now. Yamano. Right next to the corner flag, and she'll not win herself a throw in or a corner. It'll be a goal kick. I think we should really take in the fantastic weather this afternoon. We won't really get these cloudless skies for the rest of the season, I don't think. As we come towards the end of March, as we enter the winter months in just a few days' time, it seems. Allen looking upfield. And Olsen will bat it clear. Christensen is there, back to goal. The only woman up forward for South Melbourne in that central region. Westland. Beautiful ball. A teasing ball. Klajic! And South Melbourne draw things level. A fantastic teasing ball into the feet of Klajic, who gets her first goal of the season for South Melbourne. And game on here at Lakeside Stadium.
They took the opportunity to go forward at a real quick time there from goal. Emma Olsen just placing that ball forward. Misha Westland doing the rest there with that pass. And it's Klajic who got on the end of that move, making no mistake with the finish too. Game on, says Dragana. That's a massive moment in this game. Needed to find a response. Did South Melbourne. Not as if the effort wasn't there, but again, just the execution has not quite been there, and that changes with that blow. Spot on from South Melbourne, the spot on response that they need. That restart looks to be delayed here as the referees are in consultation there, but again, I think there was just a change in just the approach from South Melbourne. I might take a moment to bring that up. Just the way that they had more numbers defending back, and then Alamein was just looking to go back and just couldn't quite find their way through. The onus was on them to try and dictate the play, dictate the terms a little bit more. And then once South were able to break away, almost like a cluster, they got into space and they were able to make something work there. Not sure what the delay is regarding here, but we'll keep an eye on that. Angelique Katsais, of course, getting us back underway now. It is a turning point in this game, undoubtedly, but which way that turning point goes, it's anyone's guess. It's a tight, close, hard-fought affair. Samantha again charging out from the back here. It's a good move forming here by South, a flowing move. Yamano looking to get on the end of that pass from Seawards there. Doesn't quite work out. Papasanis, of course, helping lead that charge, returning to the side this afternoon. Of course, I know we may have alluded to it pre-game, Neil, but just having that week off so early in the season, having that cancelled or rescheduled fixture, with Preston. Christensen looking to break through there, but can't quite spring that offside trap laid by Alamein, and the linesman gets us back to the top there. Well, South just looking to shake off some cobwebs maybe in that first half, and they pick up where they left off in that opening round 4-1 win. It's a step up that they needed to take. Go forward quickly, looks to be the mantra there from Alamein, looking just to get some territory back. But South are back there to absorb that. A little bit clumsy there on the takeaway, but that will allow Alamein to get forward. In the way they applied themselves in that first half, Alamein was really impressive, to be honest with you. And I wonder if that same mentality is going to need to take place here now as they're back level. Again, we're having an absolute time with those numbers, the blue and gold numbers on the back there. This afternoon, making it very difficult for us commentators. We'll do our best. An arm wrestle taking place just on the far side. Yamano again dropping very deep there. Really all-action type of player. We saw that from South, just that rotation of players in certain positions and just that fluid movement that they've been able to bring. Haven't quite had the end product that they may have liked, but they're responding nevertheless. Alamein now looking to dictate terms. It's Sydney Allen at the top of the box, playing in her teammate to the far side. Sabres in the box. The first half goal scored at the 22nd minute. The cross is there, but Misha Westland there to cover. Now Alamein not quite being able to follow up there.
Despite conceding a goal, Alamein have held pretty firm in their intent so far. I think that's the real sort of resilience they have instilled from the backroom staff, of course. They've had to go through a lot of coaching changes in recent years. Of course, Kat Smith departed the club recently. Well, I guess in the last few years, you could say. Of course, had that role with the Western Sydney Wanderers. Now, of course, with Western United. And she's performed diligently well this season. In charge of the Woo. Alamein now. Looping ball over the top. Looking for Molly Burke. Now Grace Taranto is going to have to come all the way back to retrieve the ball. We'll look down the line, but plays in defeat. Westland with a great touch away from a marker. We'll still race forward now down this right-hand touch line. Candelas. Looking in behind was the option of Westland. The 1-2 touch, but brilliant piece of play by Alamein down that left channel. But Sophie Papatsanis will win it out. Has been a senior member of the squad since 2019 or so. She's really grown into a right fullback position. South having, of course, as previously mentioned, a great record of developing youngsters to bring them into the first team, and a lot of Greek diaspora players as well among those who have broken into South's first team. Kleinch with the ball over the top to the right-hand side. Good touch by Candelas. Papatsana's looking to break space as well. Now, to centre circle is Sydney Allen. Over to that right-hand side it goes. But no intended target for Alamein. Crucial phase of the game now for South Melbourne. They can get the go-ahead goal. They can really just shut up shop. They do have the more experienced players on the bench, do South Melbourne, compared to Alamein's squad in terms of high-level playing experience. Taranto. Pass that nearly broke through the lines, but Stewart's looking to receive and board again. Now Christensen. Options to her left and to her right. She looks in midfield for her fellow midfielder in the form of Isabella Sewards, but she couldn't quite get an effective touch away from her marker. Just pinball in midfield as things currently stand. Alamein playing it back to goal. Look down that right-hand side, and it will be a South Melbourne throw-in. Georgia Candelas and Sophie Papatsanis. Papatsanis. Christensen, that's eloquent. Papatsanis, delivery to the back post. Nearly causing a bit of trouble. But Alamein holding firm yet again.
Did well there, didn't she, Papatsanis? It was a angled, teasing type of ball that had some good flight to it and forced Murphy in goal to double back. Dangerous looking ball, but doesn't quite come off. The let off for the away side. Has done well when called upon, I think, this afternoon, Emma Olsen. Result in the South goal, a tale of two keepers has to be said, and Taylor Murphy's held up her own end of the bargain as well. Chance now forming here for Alamein. Looking for Allen at the top of the box. Looking to take away now. South just looking to break away through that cluster style. That counter is very, very hard to stop when it can get fully going, but Alamein do well to double back. Yamano has tried this afternoon, hasn't she? Has always been looking to be proactive and forward thinking in her approach and trying to generate that forward movement for her team. Hasn't always come off, but you need someone who's always thinking in that sort of mentality like the way she has. So it's been fantastic to watch this afternoon. Christensen always has ever presenting this afternoon. She's been the main route. But Alamein do well to cover there. Brilliant takeaway there, but they can't quite make use of it. And they can't fall into the trap of looking for the pass and trying that pass that isn't quite there. There's a lot of football left in this game. And I know they've been drawn level, but they can't be rushed into thinking this game is over. Far, far from it. They're well in this contest. They can't be rattled by this. And it's going to take a lot of focus and energy and concentration here. Yamano again. The skipper, brilliant bit of play there. Beats her marker, looks for the cross, and it's blocked out for a corner. Another crucial set piece you have to think for the home side. Hellas this afternoon. Don't think either side have looked to the bench, are looking to the bench just yet. Plenty of options for both sides. Set piece routine looks to be forming here for the home side. Seaward's just dropping in. It's an angling ball in Taranto on the end of that. It's a save. Taranto breaking clear, getting her head to that, and forces Taylor Murphy into a great reflex save there. They need to be careful with that the Alamein, but that's a routine. Short corners, usually I say no, but in that case, I'll say yes. And it nearly pays off for them. It's a lovely ball in too, looking at the replay. Need to be tighter there on Taranto. They can't allow her that level of space, and that, again, someone who's quite imposing in the box. Another corner here. Too close to goal there. That ball in from Christensen in that occasion, and Taylor Murphy does well to take. She'll allow her side to get further up the field. And sends it long. Dangerous areas there from South Melbourne, but they do well. Guimara was up there looking to latch onto that, but South do well to double back here. Beautiful football forming here. Candelas, the cross is on. Murphy doing well to race off the line and tap that away. South sense an opportunity here, don't they, Neil? They see blood in the water and they're looking to get in front here. Looking to take advantage of this momentum that they've created. There might be a chance for a counter punch, and there might be here. Guimara through on goal there, seemingly. Olsen, they're racing off the line for South Melbourne, but that does not matter in the long run. The linesman was well onto that. Looking a little bit worse for where. I think it's Franny Yamano down. Behind play, we'll just check that in a moment. Excuse me, that was indeed Claridge, number 2 for South Melbourne. I think she just got caught up in that counter that Alamein looked to manufacture there. Take a moment just for South to pause and just let this game breathe for a moment, Neil.
Yeah, absolutely. I think South Melbourne, those passing combinations have been executed to full effect in the last few minutes, and I think they'll look to make a change as well, as we do see a player on that far touchline. I think we'll see a triple change for Alamein and just a singular one for South Melbourne, so it'll be interesting to see who does come on. That triple change is going to be confirmed now. Let's try and make out who's actually coming on and who's coming off. It's impossible to make out exactly the numbers and whatnot, but it seems as if, as for South Melbourne at least, Zia Claridge has made way. And Grace Taranto will get things restarted. Christensen back to goal. It's Candelas on that right-hand side. He's got plenty of players to part with. Was brought down initially and does win the foul. Grace Taranto to deliver this one. Fairly deep on that right-hand side. Grace Rapp, of course, coming on. Was the Claridge, of course. It was mentioned she'd get a few minutes. Taranto to the back post. On the edge of the area, it still is alive for South Melbourne, but Alamein get it clear. Now it's towards Jess Sheenan. Rapp. Experience the likes of Stade de Reims in France, of course, alongside some caps for England's youth teams. Now Allen in transition, ball in behind. It's well dealt with by Taranto, and Taranto will look down the line. Yamano is there to get the first touch away. Beautiful turn by Westland. She looks upfield. Now Sewards. Into short for South, and they get the shot away, but it's into the trusty arms of Taylor Murphy. Of course, another arrival from Ringwood City, of course. Hasn't had a lot to do this afternoon, bar that outrageous save earlier on in this half, following the header from Grace Taranto, and now Papatsanis coming back to retrieve. Game firmly in the balance for either side. Can South Melbourne be the ones to really take this game on the scruff of the necks of Alamein? Misdirected pass from Klajic, but Taranto now in the centre circle, racing through. Looks to get the strike on goal. Oh my goodness! Nearly finds the top right corner. Grace Taranto, like a bulldozer through midfield. Nearly finding where the spiders live. In the top right. And Taylor Murphy was beaten all ends up. But fortunately for her, just hit the sort of like the post behind the goal. The thing that holds it up. I'm not exactly sure what to call it, but there you go. She gets it clear now. Papatsanis looking to reach up high to retrieve. Now Sydney Allen with a misplaced pass, and South will recompose themselves again. They definitely have the tempo swaying in their direction. Now it's Papatsanis yet again. Malloy looks up. Bit of miscommunication between Iamano and Jess Sheenan, but thrown one by Alamein now.
That's it. That's exactly what Alamein require here. They need to get themselves further up. Of course, Dagana Klajic drawing that equaliser for South Melbourne at the 48th minute mark. Cancelling out, of course, that opener to 22nd from Rebecca Saber. A close run, hard-fought affair this afternoon. Not much in this contest at all, has to be said. And Alamein going to look to go long here. Brilliant reading of the play there. For cross from South, but they need to reinforce here. Grace Rapp, of course, towering that header away, coming on just a few moments ago. Clage again on a run. Done well all afternoon, linking up with Yamano. Down that left-hand side, it'll be another change for Alamein. Mia Lantieri-Bartley replacing Eden McEwen. Alamein just looking to refresh and just reinforce that defensive shape. It's been an absolute battle, of course, this afternoon between McEwen and of course, well, mainly for company, she's had Franny Yamano, but she's had a rotating cast of characters. Nevertheless, Candelas and Christensen, of course, have spent time rotating across that front three. Nevertheless, South go forward again here. Brought down for a trouble. And I think that's the first slice of cheese this afternoon. Angelique Katsaias seeing that challenge, I think might have been through Allen. I'll confirm that in a brief moment. It's a dangerous free kick area now for South. Westland standing over it. She may look to claim this one. You got Christensen there looking to even barrel this one through too. The angle may suit Westland more likely here. Anticipation builds here, the kick to come in. Decent attempt there, it ends up being Westland. Good strike, good attempt, looking for that top left corner. But it's just narrowly over the bar. And we'll give the chance for Murphy to restart for Alamein.
70 minutes gone in this Saturday afternoon Easter contest. This game ready for the taking for which either side really wants to take things by the scruff of the neck. It's really there for the taking. And South definitely have tempo in their direction now. Defensive awareness in the attacking half of South. Riding the challenges. Now Iamano sliding it through to Candelas. It just slices it over the bar. Good work from Franny Iamano. Once again, of course, I haven't even touched on her accomplishments throughout her career. Was with the FV NTC program several years back. Since had stints with Melbourne Victory and also with Western United. No A-League Women's for her in this past season, but is one of the most revered players in the South Melbourne 11. Of course, being a part of that championship winning squad last campaign. Westland. Beautiful turn, and Alamein will look to be away now. A rare touch for Sabre in the second half. He's really struggled to get onto the ball in transition. Was afforded a lot of space in that first half, but those chances have really dissipated for her specifically. Good round down that right-hand touch line, looking to square it towards the central area, should I say. And Grace Taranto gets it clear. Klajic looks up. Sewards bearing down through the middle in the centre circle, looking towards her right-hand side, but Candelas was there. The touch not falling in place for her, however. Alamein back to goal now. Looking to beat pass, but Misha Westland, of course, who provided the assist for South's equaliser, has been one of the players who has excelled in her midfield role this afternoon. Of course, arriving from Queensland originally. It's a very tried and tested path for NPL Victoria men's players to move from Queensland to Victoria, but not so much for women's. Of course, Daniel Wise is another one who's made that same trek down the eastern seaboard. Sabre arrives in the centre circle now. Got options to her right, but lashes it with her right foot into the path of South defence now. Taranto taking up a position on that right-hand side, misplaces the pass, however. Crucial moment for Alamein, should I say, sorry, to recompose themselves. Ashley Lefebvre. Papatsanis, good interplay. Can't exactly find the foot of Candelas. Now Ruby Walsh will leave it for Ashley Lefebvre. The crossfield ball from Malloy. Can Alamein re-energise, but tempting to just play a bit too many long balls, which has really been the kicker for them, just in terms of trying to create space in midfield. A lot of those 1-2 touches in that first half, and that's seemingly gone by the wayside in the second half. It's Alamein crucially do win back possession just on halfway on that far side. Bit of conjecture as to which ball we're using, but nonetheless, it actually is South ball. Christensen now breaking away very neatly. Now into feet. Anastopoulos. Ball over the top. It's been given as a South free kick. Of course, Savannah Anastopoulos, of course, has a lot of NPLW experience with the likes of, well, Bentley Green's knee Bayside United. I think we can call them that, or as maybe Bentley Green's formerly known as Bayside United, and also of course with Southern United, who were recently reintroduced into the top flight several seasons ago. Taranto is towards Sewards. Candelas looking to get a touch. Wrap. Exquisite turn onto her left now. Sumptuous quality for South Melbourne. A tug of the shirt from Alamein, and we'll see South Melbourne deliver. Jess Seenan, the player brought down. She's been absolutely excellent in this second half. A focal, crucial opportunity for South Melbourne awaits. I do see a bit of communication between the assistant's fourth official and the head referee. And a yellow card to Alamein's bench. Not exactly sure directed towards who it was directed towards, should I say, but not often you do see that in NPLW football, but a welcome addition to this contest. Needs a bit of spice, dare we say. South to shape one now. Cluster of players just inside the box. It's towards a near post. Calls for offside, but it's been given as a goal, but nonetheless, the offside flag immediately was brought up on this near side, and well, that's South Melbourne's second offside goal Well, I think it's actually their first offside goal, but another crucial moment goes begging.
And that was Misha Westland on the end of that move. Judged to have been in an offside position there, but a let-off, nevertheless, for Alamein. This is getting into deep water now for both sides. Again, just who will be focused and who will have the opportunity to execute when the time comes. And it's Christensen on the end, latching onto that errant pass. She's pulled back, and it's a penalty. The referee points to the spot, and it's that turnover. It's that turnover of possession, that cheap turnover that South absolutely just pounce on. And Christensen, you don't have to ask her twice. You don't have to give her that opportunity twice. She will latch onto it. That's a big turning point in this game again. South have been circling. South have been knocking. And to be fair, Alamein have done well to hold them off for long stretches of this game and have things go their way, even taking the lead at a certain point. But just some of the recent spells of possession just have not been there. It just has been dead possession. They've been looking passes and that aren't quite there. And it's been to South's benefit, and it's just allowed them to build up pressure. Christensen to stand over the top of this, I think. Christensen to take. There's a bit of afters in the background there with Misha Westland. Referee Angelique Katsai pulling everyone into line there. Not going to allow the inmates to run the asylum this afternoon, that's for sure. Taylor Murphy in the Alamein goal. Can she step up to deny what has been a pretty rampant Taylor Christensen this afternoon, that's for sure. Look to cap off her performance with a goal. To give South the lead, Christensen. No mistake about it, to the bottom left. Taylor Christensen take a bow. 2-1 to the home side. Looked calm, looked composed, and executed to the absolute perfection there. And that might be the killer blow, Neil.
Yeah, Taylor Christensen has really grown into this contest as proceedings have continued. Comes up big when the moments count, and Alamein have just really tailed off in the second half. Unfortunately, do not have that same tactical structure in midfield or in defence. And that's really been the killer blow in the second half, after performing so well and diligently well in the opening stanza. Things have really gone by the wayside, unfortunately, for them. Sheenan looks to bat it clear. Alamein will be all balls to the wall now in these last 10 minutes of regulation. Throw in towards Allen. Receives on the edge of the area. Looking to break through. A potential chance arriving for Alamein, but Iamano was in the way, not affording Ashley Lefebvre the opportunity to get a strike on goal. And Sydney Allen will stand over this one from the corner flag as well. What can she fashion from this position? Sydney Allen. Captain Courageous. Can she come up big this time? It's Allen towards the near posts. Still falls in the box, but a foul against Alamein. Taylor Christensen was questioning why. Not exactly sure why she would even have that thought, considering it has gone to her side. Now Grace Taranto. Options high up the park for South Melbourne. The long ditch clearance is won back by Alamein, however. Through Ashley Lefebvre. Once more gets the touch. Receives in board, and Iamano attempting to break through. Now Malloy. Long ball upfield. And Rebecca Saber just exerting too much influence upon that phase of play. Grace Rapp coming off a little bit worse for wear. Taranto, short to Rapp. The two Graces combining. Rapp again. That left-hand touchline. Alamein with a long clearance. I'm not sure if that was misdirected or if the intent was just to get it back into South's penalty box. Taranto upfield. Sewards. Nice little teasing ball. It's back towards Sewards. Can she receive him board yet again? But Anastopoulos composes herself incredibly well. Candila's brought down. Steps back up. Christensen now. Alamein into midfield yet again. Saber. Kalajic. Rapp. Centre circle now for South Melbourne. Taranto. Back to Rapp. Experience also in England with the likes of Keynsham Town, Yeovil, and also with Selfos. And Rapp once again, breaking past a traditional central defence position into midfield. Can't find that touch that would have provided them added momentum. And the attempted halfway goal just dips wide. That was something. It was almost off a half volley, if that. It looked like it was swaying left initially, so very intriguing to know that it only just dropped wide of the goal. Wouldn't that have been some way to draw things level for a second time this afternoon? This time Alamein are the ones needing that extra goal to get them a point, a much needed point at that. Kalajic. South with a throw in.
And South just managing this game pretty well. That they've now, it's been absorbing. It's been a tight contest in a lot of it, you'd have to say, but South have maintained the majority of, I think, the attacking play and the better of this half. Now they're into space now. What can they do? Candilas on the end of that. Alamein doing well to double back and to cover across there. Sewards as well, looking to get in on that move. She's done quite well as well. Been an ever-present threat, has looked to create and looked to be positive at all times as well. And that will take an opportunity for South Melbourne to enact a change here. Be Chiara Hornopoulos replacing number 10 and Georgia Candilas as a result. She's been brilliant this afternoon, has Candilas. She'll take an early leave and get the appreciation of the crowd here as well as a result. What can they find here now? Get some space to work in. It's Allen now, looking for a teammate. She's got Savannah Anastopoulos there on the end. She's pulled down. The cries for a penalty from the Alamein bench, but referee not having any of it. They still have an opportunity here to make this work. Lefebvre on the end of that. At the back is South. Doubling back is Olsen to deny the chance there. Allen on the follow-up. The ball falls through. Lefebvre on the end of that is a goal. It's an equaliser here. Alamein, just when you count them out, they find a way. And that is a counter of the highest order. Just persistence. They kept on knocking, and there is yet another turning point in this game. Olsen, doing well to cover there at the back post to make the save. Taranto coming out looking to block there, but then South caught wanting at the back there, and Alamein take full advantage. And that could be a late heartbreaker. That's 88 minutes gone, and we are dead level. This game has done a madness, Neil.
Just as you thought you could just count them out, Alamein get the late equaliser, but it's definitely not all done and dusted thus far. 2 minutes of regulation and stoppage time to play. So we're set for a grandstand finish here at Lakeside Stadium. Ironically enough, in which you can see plenty of grandstands around the Albert Park precinct. Iamano teasing ball in behind towards the back post. But last touch came off an Alamein player crucially. So it'll be another corner. Ash Lefebvre, of course, was very close to getting a shot on target earlier on in this half to bring things into an advantageous position for Alamein to make it 2-1, but the game's on its head now. Corner for South Melbourne. Taking it short now, Westland. Again, calls for a handball against South Melbourne. And in fact, for offside, and those calls have been answered. Well, how many minutes of added time would you say are onto this contest? I'd say probably 3 or 4. If I'm a betting man, which I am not. Alamein get it clear. On the goal kick, Klajic. And we will see 5 minutes of stoppage time. It's time to make yourself a hero. And a stunning contest so far, especially in the second half. Lefebvre. She would have liked her delivery to be more close to the 18-yard area. The perimeter of the 18-yard area, but South will now lick their lips. But Grace Rapp is charged down by Rebecca Saber. Fortunately for South Melbourne, they do regain possession. Papatsanis, Christensen. Heavy, heavy touch. And Christensen does bundle over Ruby Walsh in transition off the ball, but Alamein will get themselves the set piece. Alamein now. This will be a giant scalp of epic proportions if they can get themselves a go-ahead winner. Allen, ball over the top. This could be the moment for Rebecca Saber upon the volley. But Olsen claims, and South will attempt to race in transition now. Excellent awareness from Hiranopoulos. And this game is just end-to-end football now. Saber looks down the line. And it'll be a goal kick for South Melbourne.
Looking to get this moving here, South. Time ticking away. Time for one final chance, you would have to think. Looking to play through to Papatsanis, but it's gone back and intercepted by Ash Lefebvre. The equaliser, the goal scorer this afternoon. Taranto following up though, charging through. She gets the better of it. She continues her run. Plays through a teammate here in Yamano. Diagonal Cage looking to follow up there. Jess Sheehan pushed back and forced to concede a throw in there. And Christensen, as ever, leading the line. What a turn. But needs to find a teammate. Westland now. Same position. Forced back. Well held off there by Alamein. Taranto. King in a low pass. Clade has been persistent through midfield, trying to link through to the forward half. Returns back to where it came from, and Clade looks to go again. Grace Rapp pushing forward into midfield, finds Sheehan. Christensen there waiting on the wing. This is not what they need, do South Melbourne. Can't be forced to be isolated in the wings here, just need to look more centrally. Christensen tries to do that, but she's well held off. Taranto to bring it out once more. She has Yamano on the wing there. Goes long. Can't quite find her though. Westland now. And well read and well cut out there. Lefebvre, what a massive second half she's had. Papatsana's pushing up. Was that an offside from a throw-in, I think, which is a curious call to make. Oh, foul throw, excuse me. Nevertheless, Alamein get things going again. Harvest now on the turn. The skipper, Yamano, the ball comes back down for South. A minimum, it should be said, of the last minute of stoppage time. Christensen presenting, looking for the opportunity. The South left, pushed back. All hands at the wheel here, surely. But they're in that position where they can't commit too many forward for having Alamein spring forward a counter here. And that's all, folks. That's all. 2-2 here at Lakeside Stadium in what was an engrossing, at times physical, at times tense, open contest at different times. It had it all. And it was a late show from Ash Lefebvre, who pulls back a point for Alamein after they fell back, courtesy of Dragana Klajic of a second half opener, drawing back parity, and then a Taylor Christensen penalty on the 80th minute that put South briefly ahead for Ash Lefebvre. Had the final say. It turns out to be the final say. Barreling forward, barreling a goal over the line. Alamein's first goals of the season and their first points of the season. And heading into today, you think they would have taken that, Neil? That was a pretty brave performance from them.
Very brave. I mean, to come away with a point at South Melbourne at Lakeside Stadium, I'd be buzzing if I were to be an Alamein player or an Alamein supporter. Really composed themselves eloquently well throughout the course of the fixture. They lost tempo at times, but South have that extra added technical quality, but Alamein have got, I guess, a bigger heart and desire to come away with something this afternoon. For South, you know, they've only had 2 matches of the season. Of course, a week break doesn't really do any favours, but they should feel very confident in how they've played this season, and once they do get that added quality back, they should be right up the title charge. And for Alamein, perhaps a finals charge for them. I guess they've got a lot of fantastic players who give a lot of intensity and momentum going forward, but we'll see how they can compose themselves in the coming weeks. But from Lakeside Stadium, I've been Neil Simon, she's been Katie Lambeski. A great afternoon of football, and have a fantastic Easter Monday and a long weekend. We'll be back for some more NPL Victoria action across the men's and women's divisions in the coming weeks. Thank you, and good night.